So the press has to be responsible. They're not being responsible because we're losing a lot of people because of the internet.
I'm going to run through a few things. Then later on towards the end, I'm going to tell you why. Now, last year, August 2024, StreamYards raised the price of its services from whatever it was to $50. And there were two reactions that people had, and I watched a bunch of people talk about it. And not because I sought it out, but because almost every stream I clicked on, people mentioned it real quick or spoke on it for a long while. And of course, because, you know, that's a change that hits everybody in one way or another. But there were two reactions. One of the reactions was, you know, naturally to complain. There was talk about how StreamYards glitches and it has all these other problems, and people were just overall talking about how it's not worth it. Then there was the other reaction, and this one got my attention. The complaining, I understand where they're coming from. I understand fully, and I don't have an issue with them complaining about that kind of stuff. But this other reaction, it caught my attention, because like I said, remember, it was two reactions. This other one caught my attention. I saw a lot of people reacting this way too. And I was watching somebody, I forget who it was, but they mentioned this lady's community tab. So I went over there and I saw what community tab lady had to say on the matter of this $50. And I commented because I think I had watched a lot of stuff. Like I just said, I commented that time because I think I had just reached the boiling point. Right. And not just because of her, but because of a lot of other people that had her same reaction that I saw on her community tab. And on her community tab, she said, this $50 fee will separate the real content creators from the fake ones. You know, like in some classes mindset, like once upon a time, you had to be a landowner in order to be able to vote. Like that. And before I tell you what I said to her, let me recall what I was talking about maybe 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I did a video and I mentioned ZX, who said that YouTube needs to start charging people. I can't remember the exact number. I think he said it was $500 a month to be on YouTube. It might have even been more than 500. I don't remember, so I'll just keep it low at 500. But I'm almost sure he said more than 500. And he said that in some rant about people's behavior on YouTube. He was describing people as low lives and people who look like they have no home training, so he suggested $500 a month. You know, the same mindset as people who think that public education shouldn't be free. And you should have to pay to understand how 2 + 2 = 4. But this is the same man who I've seen pull guns out on people on at least 6 occasions, at least 6. This is the same man who I've seen threaten to beat people up on, bare minimum 30 times. A man who has lost at least 5 of his channels. 5 of his channels terminated for his behavior, and is talking about raising fees would be a good idea. Today is December 15, 2025. He just lost another channel about 6 days ago for threatening to kill people. But it's other people's behavior that's the problem. His behavior, like here. Here he is out at least, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, challenging a dude named QB to come fight with him. ZX is a man who is a year or two away from being 60 years old, but out early in the morning challenging a 40-year-old to come out and fight. Or in other words, he's looking to get what likely would have turned out to be an ass whipping if QB had actually showed up. But he doesn't consider who might be looking at his behavior as someone with no home training. I spoke on that years ago, and the other day, he did it again. But this time, ZX blamed Barack Obama for making it to where everybody has internet access. He said YouTube should charge people more to be on here. And granted, this is a man who I've seen go through all kinds of financial difficulties, some of which he's came out and told the public himself, and other ways people have doxed him. They've posted his late bills and all kind of other stuff about his, financials that's going on. And I've seen this man myself host numerous fundraisers for himself for different reasons, but he on here talking about how YouTube needs to price people off of here. And he's able to think that way because he won't look at himself. He's too busy looking at how he views other people's behavior. Like the community tab lady. I'll show you who she is in a second. She too would make such a post because she doesn't consider, what about me? What's going to happen to her? But like I said, she said separate the real from the fake. And I replied on that post and I said, someone being a real or fake content creator has absolutely nothing to do with if they can afford $50 a month. That's what I told her. And she went live right after that, right? Not for me. She didn't go live for me. She went live to do her usual thing that she does on YouTube. But she mentioned me at the very beginning of that live stream. And I forget how she did it, but it was the same thing she did. It was along the same lines of what she said to me on her community tab. She replied to my post. And what did she do? She moved the goalpost. She knew I was right. She knew I was right, and she halfway acknowledged that in her live stream. But to save face, she moved the goalpost somewhere. I forget where she moved the goalpost to, but she moved it. But that was last year. And here she is in 2025, right here, just yesterday, after getting flagged and here on her backup channel. This is the community tab lady, Brianna Simone.
That's what that's about process. Johnny Church Shoes, this is crazy. My heart is broken because I'm gonna have to spend $50 on StreamYard again, and I just spent $50 on StreamYard again, and I really don't want to have to spend $50 on Stream. Mitra, did you have one? Did you? It don't matter. So I'm just really upset about it. I'm just really upset about it. I'm just really upset that I'm about to have to spend this money again. And yeah. So listen, I'm just explaining what happened. So
why does it break your heart? Why? I mean, that's what you wanted for other people, right? So why does it break your heart to get what you wanted for other people to have? Or in other words, like the old saying, when you're digging a grave for somebody else, y'all know the rest. And her reaction a year later is the same thing I seen happen with other people like her. And theirs happened to them real quick. Hers just took a year. Man, it came real quick for him too. Man, I'm not paying for that. It's too much. I'm going to have to use a different streaming service. I seen that a year ago from people who wanted the internet to be cleaned up by pricing people out. And that wish came true for them real quick. You know, that wish that they wanted for other people came real quick for them too. A day or two, a week or two later, I seen them on here complaining. This is too much. This is not fair. This is some bullshit. Can y'all donate to help me pay this $50? You know, and all this, you know.
And it be like, bitch, are you mad about it? I be wondering, like, are these bitches mad about it? The way they, it's like, y'all need to really relax, bitch. Y'all need to relax.
But I walk y'all down this long road to show y'all what really concerns me about the idea of social credit scoring, where what we're able to do or what we're able to buy won't be based on the amount of money that we earn, but rather it'll be based on how we behave and how we are perceived by other people in society and the lunatics that'll be in charge of it all. And what concerns me the most about all that is it'll work. It will work. In the two examples I gave y'all, ZX and Brianna, that mindset is how the lunatics will be able to maintain a tyrannical system like that. And listen, you want to know how the guards in any jail or prison pretty much have a good and easy day at work? Well, the answer is this: because they work vigorously to maintain and enforce the prison and jail guidelines and regulations, right?
Wrong. Wrong.
No, it's not because of that. It's the inmates that makes the guards' day go by with a breeze. It's the inmates maintaining and enforcing on each other that makes the guards barely have to lift a finger. And I'm not speaking from the perspective of somebody who saw jail and prison on TV or in a movie or read a book about it. No, I've been there more than a few times, and I'm telling you what I know from firsthand experience. But the reason I walk y'all through those long examples is because I'm still a believer in the power of the people. And right now, it looks hopeless and that there's nothing that can stop what these lunatics are up to. I know it looks like that. Again, it does look that way, but I know better. What I know better is that it'll have to be the power of the people that helps them. And you folks who think like the examples I gave you here, you need to check that. If you share that mindset of the examples that I showed you here, you really need to check that. Because it's people who see you as a degenerate, low-life, useless eater, less than. You want the internet to be cleansed? Well, the people that'll be in charge, they see you as filthy too. And you need to know that. But I've been doing these years in reviews where I tell y'all what I've been seeing these past 7 to 8 years. And one of the things that I've been seeing is the walls closing in on everybody. And this social credit scoring, if we don't unfuck ourselves real quick, it's gonna be a reality. Even for the ones who think it'll be a good idea, you're gonna get yours too.
So the press has to be responsible. They're not being responsible because we're losing a lot of people because of the internet. And we have to do something. We have to go see Bill Gates and a lot of different people that really understand what's happening. We have to talk to them, maybe in certain areas, closing that internet up in some way. Somebody will say, oh, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. These are foolish people. We have a lot of foolish people. We have a lot of foolish people.